Hello, beautiful, magical, sensitive soul. In today's video, I want to talk about the most important question as empaths and highly sensitive people we need to ask ourselves in order to ensure that our energy field and our internal system is working to its highest capacity, making sure that we can show up in the world, being as vibrant and as bright and in service as we possibly can. And so the question that we ask ourselves, the exercise that I'm going to share in this video is this mine? And the reason why this is so important for us to practice is because we are the energetic receivers of the universe. And so all of the different waves of energy that is floating around us, we will filter through our beings, right? And depending on what type of empath you are, and I can make a video about the types of empaths, just put a little note below if you want to hear them, you're going to take in different frequencies. And so in order to understand your own emotions better and how you process emotion, it's really important that you ask, is this mine? Because have you ever been like walking down the street or in the grocery store and you get like this feeling that is just really intense and really sudden, and you're like, oh, I didn't know I was angry. Oh, I didn't know I was overwhelmed. Oh, I didn't know I was sad or happy or whatever it is. Chances are you've picked up a frequency of energy and you have made it yours. You're experiencing as if it is yourself. So the first thing we're going to talk about in this video is this mine? In part 2, I'm going to share with you how to pull apart your energy from the other person's. And this is really important because you need to be able to begin to separate your emotions from other people's emotions so that you can kind of sense and kind of feel each frequency differently within your body so that you know how to kind of live and experience the world as yourself while other things are coming and waving in and out. The third piece of this is going to be what to do with these people's emotions once you recognize that you're carrying something that doesn't belong to you. So, my name's Avalon Starlight of the Empath Healer. Let's begin. Is this mine? The most important thing to understand about this question is that it begins with a yes or a no. And that yes or no is a felt yes or no. It's a heard, depending on what your clair sense is. And again, I can make a video about all the clair sense if you want, just put it in the comments below. But it depends on how you experience or receive information through your being, through your body. So you may feel it, you may hear the answer yes or no, or you may experience it in a tactile way, but ultimately you want to build a relationship with how you receive that response. Right? That's your intuition. That is spirit working through you. And so you want to become really connected with how you answer yes or no. So you're going to say, is this mine? I often say the first answer is the right answer. So trust if you hear, feel, sense, know a yes, and then you can be like, okay, then I can work with this emotion. The second thing is if you hear a no, right? And so part 1, get really clear, really understanding the answer to that question is true, regardless of whether you hear a yes or no. Part 1. Part 2, what to do if you get a no, right? Like, no, this is not your emotion. So here's where we get to begin to nurture being an energetic being, right? Because you may be feeling sadness for a friend who's going through something and you are super connected to them or your partner or your child. And so you automatically sense or feel when they're in discomfort. And so one of the ways that we can support the people in our lives is to really understand how to go into a place where we can discern what we are allowed to do. Because in my world of energy work, consent is one of the most important things that we work with. So I personally never jump into people's energy without their consent, whether it is their physical consent or the consent of their higher self. And so when I get a no, this is not yours, I will breathe in and I will close my eyes and I will ask, whose emotion am I experiencing? And again, we're beginning to forge a relationship with trusting the first thing that we receive. So you might hear it's your friend Mary's. Okay, so it's Mary's emotion. I'm going to tune into Mary, right? I'm going to tune into the field, not inside of Mary's energy, not without her consent. And I'm going to ask Mary's higher self, if Mary's not in front of me, if my husband's beside me and I say, honey, can I jump in your energy real quick? Or can I do this real quick? He'll say yes. But if it's Mary and she's like somewhere else, cross country, cross city, and I'm like, can I speak with Mary's higher self? Can I ask Mary's higher self? Can I enter Mary's heart? Because of the place where we are most impactful and most supportive to those we love is always in a heart-to-heart connection. So I'll say, can I speak to Mary's higher self? And I'll say, okay, great. Is it okay if I enter Mary's heart? And if I get a yes, then I will work with that. If I get a no, then I will say, great, I'll call Mary. I'll talk to Mary on the phone. I'll do what I need to do to ensure that I can support Mary in whatever way. But I still understand that that emotion is not mine. And that's a key piece for part 3, which is what do we do with the emotion that's not ours and how do we resolve it? So if I get a yes and I can jump into Mary's heart, I'm just going to feel what that sadness feels like, or that grief, or that joy, or whatever I'm experiencing, right? I'm just going to be in Mary's heart, and then I'm going to come into my own. So I'm going to experience that sadness or that grief or that joy or whatever Mary's feeling, and then I'm going to pull it away from me and experiencing it and as Mary, right? And why this is important is because then I understand that this is a Mary emotion and this is not an Avalon emotion. And always in the heart space, we can honor, oh, they're so sad. And it's sometimes just the reflection or the noticing of an emotion that softens it for us. Like we can be like, oh my gosh, I feel like they could use a call, or they need a friend, or they need some support, or they want to go out and celebrate, whatever it is. But in that space, we're pulling that emotion from being ours and we're experiencing it in the field and in the heart of the person that we love, care, and honor. Beautiful, right? And so that's that separation. That's where we can discern what is ours, and then we're feeling something as somebody else's. If you're in a grocery store or if you're somewhere else and you just simply get, no, this is not your emotion, there comes part 3 immediately, right? And I'm going to get to that in 1 second, because we do not have a relationship with this person. We don't know who they are. And so it's an immediate, no, that's not yours. And so we want a quick response within our own body of what to do with that. If you ask, is this somebody I know? Is this somebody I care for? So you're just always very curious and you're getting like, no, it's somebody in the grocery store. Okay, great. Perfect. I'll deal with this. And so that's what leads us to part 3. So in part 3, this is where you get to cultivate your energetic toolbox, right? Because there is no one way to work with energy. There are multiple ways to work with energy, and you're learning the ways that feel most resonant and true for you. So, thinking back to Mary, and we've asked their higher self, can we go into their heart? They've said yes, even if they've said no, or even if it's a grocery store person. The question that we end on is, what can I do to release this emotion from my body, right? That is key, because it is not yours to carry regardless, right? Whether you just picked it up, whether you care so deeply about somebody, no matter where it's coming from, it's not yours. And the more energy that you keep accumulating in your body, the denser your heart's gonna feel. And to the point where when I read energy with my clients and my chakra diagnostics, I call it the library of other people's emotions. It feels in the back between the shoulder blades like there is just this like wall of like books or little vials of other people's emotions that empaths and highly sensitive people keep accumulating. So we want to get to a place where we don't take them in and think that they are ours. And so you're going to say, and it's as simple as we want it. It's as easy as we want it. We can complicate things, but please don't do that. It just makes more struggle. So how can I release this from my body? If you're in Mary's heart, you're going to hear like a really beautiful, just like mirror it back to me. You can send it into the ground. You can consider yourself like a lightning rod, and that energy just like crackles through into Mama Earth. It could be wash your hands. It could be whatever it is that you receive for Mary, you're going to do it, right? And the same is true for all aspects of emotional energy. So in Mary, it might be like you feel her heart, you are sitting with it, and it's like, how do I release this from my body and still honor Mary? And you might receive, just reflect this back, just give it back to Mary's heart and give Mary a call. Great, I will do that. If you got a no, don't go into Mary's heart at all, and you say, how can I release this energy? It could be like, flush it into the earth, right? And so you can either do that just sitting where you are or wherever you're experiencing. Like, we don't need to go outside, put our feet in the grass. If you can, great. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Don't complicate it. Just send it into the earth. It could be that, you need to shake it out. Shake it out. Some people wipe. Maybe it's a cord cutting. Whatever you receive, and this is why cultivating that inner intuition and trusting what you receive is key to all of this, right? Got to get you to a place where you discern your own inner wisdom, because you are the wisest person on this planet for yourself. And so you might be in the grocery store. Is this mine? No. Is it somebody I know? No. How do I release it? One of my personal favorites is a mirror. I imagine a mirror coming up, so any energy that doesn't belong to me reflects off that mirror and goes back to its sender. Or you could hear again, receive, just like ultimately flush it into the earth. That's another one. And you can literally hit a flushing toilet handle and just imagine it just descending into the core of the earth, where Mama Gaia will transmute all this emotional energy into beautiful flowers and trees and plants and all these gorgeous things for us. So that emotional energy is supportive to those we love. You might actually have a vacuum to the divine as another option, right? Like, how can I get rid of this like emotion? Give it to God. Give it to God. And so you just see a white light come and remove the emotion for you. Every single one of us and every single person, you may receive something different. Trust what you receive. That's the biggest piece with working with energy, I think, that people struggle with, is that the answers might not make sense to you, right? Most of the time when I speak to my guides or to spirit or my higher self, I receive information that I'm like, cool, awesome. Yeah, that's great. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I trust that Spirit's only going to give me what I am capable of. Like, even when I learned that I could read chakras, I was like, whoa, I don't think you got the right person. Like, I didn't know anything about chakras at the time. And Spirit was like, that's okay, we're going to guide you. And so I started practicing. I just started practicing. I didn't question, and Spirit was like, teach A Course in Miracles for a year. I was like, me? And Spirit's like, yeah, you. And I was like, cool. And I did that, running retreats, whatever Spirit tells me, as uncomfortable as I am, as unsure of what the answer is or how it looks in my life. When they told me my name was Avalon Starlight, of the earth and of the sky, as above, so below, you're a portal. I was like, I am? What does that mean? But now I understand. And so listening to Spirit, building that relationship, that trust, understanding as an energy worker, as an empath, as a healer, as a highly sensitive person, that level of connection with our inner wisdom is the key to supporting everyone in our lives, and especially ourselves. So, is this mine? Get the answer. Then you move into part 2, which is, okay, can I go into the heart of the person I love? Or is there something I can do to remove this emotion from my body, right? You go into part 3 and then you release it. And it can be as simple as that, but it's a practice. And why I say it's a practice is because when we begin anything, we don't know, right? Like when I started a new job, I didn't know if I start working in different ways of like writing. I don't know. Like I can go from writing a book to writing a post or an email, and they're all very different, but I still practice. It's a practice. So working with that inner wisdom, that inner voice, the responses that you get, trust yourself and know that you are gaining your inner wisdom and trust as you just say yes to the process. So that is the most important question we can ask as empaths, and how we can work through all these different things. If you have questions, if there's anything else that you want from me, because I really want to create content that speaks to your soul. Different types of empaths, different clair senses. How do you work with this in daily practice? Do you want to make a business like I do that works from home? Let me know. I can create content for that. I've been working in the chakras for almost a decade. Do you want me to break down what we store, what resistance shows up in each chakra, and how we can work with them? I want to answer all your questions. So drop them below. Let me know what this feels like. I also write a Substack. called Diary of a Sensitive Soul. So if writing feels like you want to read a weekly email, pop into my little notes here and click on Diary of a Sensitive Soul on Substack, and you will receive into your inbox all sorts of things that I experience as a highly sensitive empath who works with energy as a living. So again, I'm here for you. Let me know what you need, and I'm excited. Hit the subscribe button, or it's over here. I don't know where I put it. And I will see you soon.